Hello, welcome to Clarity for the Boss. I'm Sharon Gilmour-Glover, and this is my colleague, Jeff Reiner. When we were getting ready to shoot this week's videos, and I was saying, what should I talk about this week? Jeff said, you gotta talk about the importance of really knowing who your ideal client is. Jeff went to a great presentation this morning at eSpot and came back really focused on, oh my God, nobody even knows that's important. So he was feeding me all this information, and I finally said, why don't you sit down and we'll talk about it? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just talk. So what was it that made you realize that the people in the room hadn't even thought about, forget the fact that they've created one or haven't found the time, they didn't even know it was important?
So this morning I went to a presentation and the facilitator talked about, she went around the room and she asked people who they were and what company they represented and who their ideal client was and why they were here. And I was very surprised to see a lot of individuals that had a very specific market, but they didn't really connect with who that ideal client was. So they saw, small business owners as their ideal client. And I just thought to myself, wow, people haven't really taken the time to dive deep and assess more specifically who that person is. So
how do you dive deep? What do you do? How do you identify our ideal Clarity for the Boss client, for instance? So
for me, and with Clarity for the Boss, I would look at what a perfect client interaction looks like, and then I would start to pick out, it might be physical characteristics around the size of the business or the revenue that they're generating. It might also be based on the psychographic fit, so they're looking to grow their business. And then I would dive deeper into that, growing your business, and say, okay, where are you at and where do you want to be? Have you assigned numbers specifically to that growth so that we can quantify that?
Our core values, here at Jump Point, we really focus on core values. The very first part of Clarity for the Boss is foundation building, core values, purpose, visionary and incremental planning. Does that come into the profile?
Oh, absolutely. I think that when people understand their core values, who they are, personally and professionally, and then where they want to go and what their purpose is, they can use those core values as a filter to attract ideal clients, but also more strategically define who those clients are, and then they can start to recognize those opportunities.
Ideal clients are significantly more profitable than non-ideal clients because you can deliver value to them. They're easier to deal with. Even when you have a challenge, even when they have tricky needs, they're easier to deal with because you're naturally aligned and they really value what you do. In talking about this, Jeff said, hey, this is a 4-part series, so I think probably in the new year you're going to see a series on how do you actually do this? When does an ideal client become not an ideal client? Can you outgrow your clients? We're going to explore this further in the new year, but in the meantime, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.